Greetings, royal family. It's grown up hip hop time. It's grown up hip hop time. I know I'm late, but I'm here. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for being patient with me. He's back and shadier than ever. Romeo is back. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Now, production was getting on his nerves, you could tell, when he was in his confessional. Production kept asking him about Angela and about drama. Romeo said he ain't leave no drama behind. And production, they asked him about Angela, brought up her name, and he said that he doesn't want to mention that name, and he is not thinking about that situation. Good for you, Romeo. Good for you. He just came back from New Zealand. He is on a natural high. He is feeling peaceful, calm, cool, collected. He has some new business venture ideas. He ain't thinking about you, Angela. He ain't thinking about you. Now, if only the other castmates would basically keep that same energy and just keep Romeo's name out of their mouth. But again, I think that they are contractually obligated to mention his name 10 to 15 times per episode. Anyway, and Romeo's not playing with these fools. He's totally not playing with them. He is pretty much about his business. And you can tell, I see why he left the show. Newsflash, if you guys didn't know, Romeo is not going to be coming back for another season. He said he quit. Production wants to keep up with the mess. And it's always been this storyline of Angela and Romeo for so many years. And it's like, can we move on to something else? So you could tell that he was irritated with production, and I was here for it. So he's getting a tattoo. He's talking with his boys in the opening scene, and he's getting a tattoo. And of all people to FaceTime him, Egypt calls him to invite him to her engagement party. And it's like, what a way to disturb somebody's peace with foolishness, right? Girl, Egypt, you another one. So Egypt, of course, she brings up Angela, because again, they have to either bring up Angela or bring up Romeo and Angela in some shape, form, or fashion. We've seen it all season. Anyway, she brings up Angela. And I thought to myself, Egypt, don't you have your own mess to sort out? Like, you shouldn't be bringing up anybody. So Rome said that's a closed chapter. He's FaceTiming Egypt, and he's saying that's a closed chapter. And he says that if anyone has a problem with him, this is Romeo saying this, they know where to find him. This is in his confessional. They know where to find him. They can call him, like adults do. Now, I had to say, when they were talking before, some of the Simmons kids and the other cast members, they were saying that Romeo doesn't answer his phone. Romeo doesn't text or call anyone back. So I don't know, Romeo, if you want people to call you, you got to answer your phone. But he probably don't want to be bothered with none of them like that anyway. So production asked him, are you prepared to see the Simmons kids, at the engagement party? And Romeo asked a good question. Why do I have to be prepared to see the Simmons at the engagement party? And production was really getting on my nerves at this point. So I can only imagine in this moment how Romeo felt. They were trying to get something out of him, but he seemed like he was totally done and checked out. And the man said that he was at peace. Didn't y'all hear that? He don't want to talk about GUHHLA. He don't want to talk about her and this situation. It's old. Romeo said he did not sign up to be a part of no soap opera. And production is not trying to hear that, of course, because they're trying to get footage, so ratings can go up. We move on to see Vanessa. So she's at a photo shoot for her upcoming movie role, and she plans on hooking up Angela, her sister, for whatever reason, with her co-star. This co-star is playing her TV husband or her movie husband. So she thinks it's a good idea to invite Angela down to the photo shoot and try to hook Angela up. Good grief. Can we see Angela doing some work? Everything has to be about her dating life. Angela's talking to the guy. Vanessa, she excuses herself. Oh, I have to go get something from the back. So childish. She's talking to the guy, and she asks him his sign, his zodiac sign. And she actually looks up his zodiac sign. This is Angela in front of the guy. She's just mad childish. Is it me? I'm sure that that's a turnoff for a lot of men. She's a very beautiful girl, accomplished, but she really is juvenile and not in a fun way. You know, I don't know. Is it me? Tell me what you think. I just really wish that they would stop trying to hook this girl up with people. You know, she acts awkward. She snorts, that's fine. That's nothing wrong with that. But she just acts real you looked up his zodiac sign in front of him, and then that scene just seemed forced. She tells her sister, Vanessa, Angela ends up telling her sister that Bow Wow wants to revisit dating. The fact that Angela is even entertaining this is a stretch. Is really a stretch, because you can tell she has nothing else to talk about and nothing else going on as far as her storyline. Because again, I think Romeo totally checked out and they had to scramble for a new storyline. So I just think that Angela wants someone to chase her. She gives me that. She wants somebody to chase her. And mature men who are about their business, they're not chasing you, sweetie. Yeah, you're accomplished. Yes, you're beautiful and you're well known. But men are not, most men, accomplished, self-assured men, they're not going to waste their time chasing you, girl. So Bow Wow fits right into this little narrative. So she's actually entertaining the idea of Bow Wow wanting to revisit dating. Girl, please. Vanessa brings up Romeo. Of course she does, right? Here we go. You know, I didn't count this episode. Maybe you guys did. Put it in the comments. Let me know how many times Romeo's name was mentioned by any of the Simmons children. Angela gets very defensive, of course, and Vanessa just won't stop with this whole drama about her being in the middle and Romeo putting her in the middle. And she's just, remember, Vanessa was the one that went back and told Angela what Romeo and her discussed, or what Romeo said. So I don't understand how Romeo put Vanessa in the middle. Maybe someone else sees it different. If you do, respectfully put it in the comments. Share your point of view. Anyway, we move on to more dysfunction with Pep and Egypt. They are talking about the engagement party, and they are pretty much worried about Romeo and Angela attending their party. What? See, this is what annoys me. Again, I can imagine Romeo. He's just through. Like, why would you have to be worried about Angela and Romeo? What are they going to do? Fight? Move furniture? What are they going to do? The people who the engagement party is for, that's who everybody should be worried about. Anyway, Romeo is not, he's not stunting Angela. Like, I don't get why everybody is like, knock it off. Just knock it off. Sam, he plans on making an announcement about his past at the engagement party. And I'm saying to myself, why? Why? Even Pep's crazy behind, clocked out to lunch behind, feels that the engagement party is not a great place to make this major announcement. Trust me, I was not surprised, y'all. I was not surprised. All Sam is doing is, to me, he's pretty much getting ahead of the story, because either Bree or somebody else was basically going to let the cat out of the bag. They were going to spill his tea. So he's getting ahead of the story. That's all it was. Moving along to another disastrous relationship, Tanise and Jojo. So we see Tanise going wedding dress fitting with her mom, her grandmother, and her sister. They come into town. And at the dress fitting, she's sad because of the little fake argument that she had with Jojo. You know, Jojo stays out all night trying to build his invisible record label, you know, working with his invisible artists. So he came in late, and Tanise had a full face of makeup on with a nice fancy robe. She said she was sick, and oh, Jojo stays out all night. Oh my goodness, I need help with the baby. So this is causing her to be apprehensive about getting married. Then we switch over to see Jojo. He's getting fitted for his tux. His dad shows up, or for his suit. His dad shows up, and he's telling him about the argument. This was a corny scene. It was fake to me. No reason for me to watch it. If there was anything interesting, put it in the comments. I hit the fast forward button. Let's move on. We move on to see Little Twist, who we haven't seen in a long time. I love Little Twist. He is comic relief. Very refreshing and hilarious. So we see Little Twist and Bree. She's getting her nails did, and she's filling him in on her meeting with that Chantel girl who was talking about Sam. She's friends with his baby mama. Anyway, and Bree's plan is to confront Egypt at the engagement party. And Sam offers to accompany her. You know, Sam says that Egypt deserves better. You know, he just basically he wanted to get with her at one point. So he's coming from a comical place. He just says that she deserves a man like me. You know how Little Twist is, just making light of the situation. But he did agree to accompany Briana to this engagement party. So we move on, and it's party time. Sam's mother and father, they're in attendance. This was the first time that we've seen Sam's mother. No comment. Tretch arrives. Boogie and his sister, they arrive. The Simmons sisters, they arrive. Angela, she mentions seeing Romeo as usual. She gotta get that Romeo count in there, right? Romeo and Master P, they roll in with their crew. Percy was looking fine. Now, I noticed that the music did get dramatic. Like they were some sort of villains. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, if they don't cut it out and if they don't stop, if you hear squeaking, that is my chair. I'm sorry. So Romeo is being mad shady, even shadier with production. And like I said, I was totally here for it. In his confessional, they asked him, hey, you know, did you not see Angela like out the corner of your eye? Romeo says, Angela was at the party? The man turned to the side and said, hold on, let me put my glasses on because I don't know. Hilarious. I don't understand what production is not getting. The man don't want to talk about her. And Angela was upset. She said, I know in her confessional, I know he saw me and he walked past me. What I don't get is she said, I don't care so many times. You care, girl. You care because that man is not chasing you. You want everybody to chase after you like you're some prize to be won. And I'm not saying that you're not a good person, a good woman, you know, potentially a good girlfriend or, you know, someone to date or anything like that. I'm sure that there's plenty of men who will find you attractive inside and out. But Romeo is done with you and these games that this show and you are playing. You cared, girl. So we see Romeo mixing and mingling, of course, with some of the guests. And I did notice that Boogie is not feeling Romeo. This is the second time that he said something. He said, you know, typical Romeo, he's back and all these positive vibes and yada, yada. He's just not buying this whole positive vibe mood that Romeo is in. And he says that he's just standing there listening to him. He was being real shady, but he didn't say why he wasn't really feeling Romeo. But then again, Boogie's going through his own stuff. So he probably not interested in hearing no positive talk, considering he's going through a whole bunch of stuff. So I found that interesting. Vanessa decides to confront Romeo. Vanessa's claiming that Romeo put her in the middle of all of this. Again, I ask how. You know, Vanessa, I really was rooting for her. I really was. I like Vanessa. She seems real cool. But she is being very whiny and annoying in this episode and as it pertains to this entire situation. It's like, girl, relax. Relax. So Rome says that the chapter is closed. You could tell that he was being very patient and polite. There's nothing to talk about. That's what he said. There's nothing to talk about. The chapter is closed. There's no hard feelings. There's nothing to talk about. He kept telling her over and over again. And I just don't understand what Vanessa is not getting. So Rome, in his confessional, he says that he did not sign up to be a part of a soap opera. And if Ange wants to talk to him without the cameras, like real friends, then he's down for that. He says doesn't have to be, the cameras don't have to be around for them to talk. Because he did say that in the first episode of the season, like she's only friends with him when they're filming. So, and I think she kind of said the same thing about him. So we don't know who's lying, but it is apparent that Romeo he didn't say anything negative about her. He doesn't want to talk about her. He just kept telling Vanessa, the chapter's closed, leave it alone. So Vanessa, she goes back and she reports to Angela. Her and her assistant are sitting down and she's pouting. You can tell Angela's mad because no one is chasing her, giving her all this attention. And they just are so annoying. And then I noticed that Angela said to Vanessa, what did he say? But you don't care though, sweetie. I thought you don't care. So Angela was just mad because she wasn't getting no attention. Anyway, Rome ends up heading out because they have a flight to catch. Okay, booked and busy. So him, Master P, they and the crew, they end up leaving and they run into Egypt on the way out as she was coming in. Now she was late, but I'm glad that they, that they did get to see each other so that it's a piece of hair on my nose, so that Egypt can at least see that he came to show support. And I'm glad that Romeo didn't say a word to Angela. I'm just keeping it real. Anybody else in the house feel the same way I do? You don't like, it's like when a child's throwing a temper tantrum, you don't make it worse by giving that child any attention. And that's what I got from Angela. She was just like pouty faced and, oh, I don't care if he talks. Yeah, he saw me. I don't care if he talks. You absolutely care. You wanted him to run up and basically sweat you. It's not happening. He's over it. Anywho, so Briana and Troy, they show up, and her plan is to, again, let Egypt know what was said about Sam by this Chantel girl. And then Briana, she plans to just leave everything alone after that. So Sam has an announcement, okay? He sees Briana show up, and in his confessional, he says that he smells trouble because Briana's in there. And tonight's his night, and she better not mess it up. And he referred to her as the B word. Thought that was very interesting of him. Sam gets on the mic and he performs a song, okay? Now, I did agree with Briana. I said, why is he performing a song? He's making this about him. Briana said the exact same thing, and I agree. Why is he making this about him? Egypt wasn't even on the stage, y'all. The whole time, Egypt wasn't even on the stage. The whole time that they filmed, anyway. She was not on the stage. She was in the audience, and this is her engagement party. Where they do that at? Anywho, so after my ears were finished bleeding, after Sam did whatever the heck he calls that, I was able to hear one of Sam's lyrics in his songs, and it goes, "I'm not straight, but I'm not gay." So I immediately started laughing. Now, this was a hot mess because Little Twist is like, well, if he's not straight and he's not gay, then what is he? He really looked confused. Yo, I'm laughing because this was a hot mess. This was really a hot mess. And again, Egypt was in the audience at her own engagement party that I'm pretty sure Pep probably paid for. You get what I'm saying? A mess. So then he moves on to giving his speech, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes. Keep in mind, again, like I said, Egypt is standing next to her father and her mother. Pep is standing there looking stupid. Tresh has no idea what's going on. He's just looking like he has shades on, so you really couldn't tell, if he was ticked off. But I saw his mouth look a little tight, and that rubber band on his beard looked like it was going to pop. So I don't know. So he talks about his kids, all his child support that he's backed up on, and says that Egypt was the first person that he told about his experience with a trans woman. Listen. Oh, God. I laughed very hard because I wasn't surprised. Let me tell you something. This is not intended to be offensive because we do have to take other people's feelings into consideration, right? Let me just explain something. I don't feel, no, I cannot speak for the LGBTQ plus community, okay? But to me, this is not about him being open and honest, okay? It has nothing to do with that. I think he is taking advantage of that situation. This is not about him coming out and being free and I don't think it has anything to do with that. I feel that this was inappropriate. One, because I don't think Treach was aware that this was going to be an announcement, and he was basically blindsided. And that was disrespectful. This is Egypt's father. That's number one. Pep knew, obviously, because earlier on in the episode, she said that the engagement party is not a good time for that. And this is not about him coming out or whatever, being open or whatever he considers this being. This is an engagement party for two people. He took this opportunity to make this all about him. He sang whatever the heck that was, he was on stage. He makes this announcement. He didn't even have his wife-to-be beside him on the stage. She was in the audience, like she was coming to his coming out party. He made this all about him. And performing a song that was horrific and off-key, on stage by himself, talking about himself. This was all about him. Egypt, I think she looked like a clown as well, because again, she was standing there in the audience with all her guests looking at her in the audience at her engagement party. Sam did this because he either knew that TT or Briana or somebody else was basically might have put this information out. They might not even have put this information out, but they probably were going to put some other information out. So again, he jumped in front of the story. I am not surprised, honestly. I laughed because he looked so stupid. The whole thing just looked stupid. And again, in my opinion, this is not about him coming out or being open and honest. He took the opportunity to make this about himself. And why do you think it's a good idea that your guests at an engagement party need to know about your sexual relationships or your sexual preferences? Inappropriate. It's just not the time nor the place. Like I said, I wasn't surprised, y'all. I was not surprised at all. I wish that he would have actually announced that he had a psych evaluation and it was determined that he is a psychotic narcissist with sociopathic tendencies. I would have been impressed by that. Like, oh yes, finally we got to the root of the problem. But he embarrassed himself and he kept saying, I noticed that he kept saying, I told Egypt this from day one. I told Egypt this from day one. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that either. It seemed like he wants to make her take some sort of heat for all of the foolishness that surrounds him. He said his father knew too. And that could be why his father has the attitude that he has towards him. But what's more important is, like his father said, why is it that, or what have you done so bad that your family, all of your family members, won't even let you sleep on their front lawn? His deity said that. That would be more interesting. Why don't you come out and tell that? Good luck, Egypt. Good luck. The way he did this was just tacky, but do we expect anything else from Sam? Tacky, tacky, tacky. An engagement party is supposed to be about the two families, your loved ones, your guests, celebrating you guys getting married. Lord, getting married, child. I can't. I don't know. I just don't believe that Egypt knew all of this beforehand. She might have been sprinkling this information. I mean, he might have been sprinkling this information to her throughout their relationship. But Egypt knows everything. Egypt knew from day one. Egypt knew. So you want to drag her down with you. You want to make her look stupid right along with you. It's too late. She already looks like a fool. And as far as Angela and Vanessa, let me just get back to that real quick. You know, Vanessa is really going hard. It seems like she's trying to right some wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if behind closed doors, Angela chewed Vanessa out and said, you better fix this. You better make this right. Vanessa's acting so scary, like, oh, I feel like he's putting me in the middle. No, Angela chewed you out. And like you always do, you want to kiss her behind and run up on her. And it just seems like she could take or leave her own sister. That's all I got, y'all. Royal family, get down in the comments. I know this video is late. Josie, you were right. Only me, you were right. But I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for rocking out with me until the end. Before you go, please hit the like button if you enjoyed the commentary and get down in the comments. Please keep all comments respectful. No profanity in the chat. We can disagree respectfully. I always say that, and I mean it. So I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. So let's discuss in the comments section. Royal family, I love you for watching. And until next time, peace.